What's going on, everybody? Zach from MAPerformance coming to you from our shop Evo 10 for one very specific reason. We are building our engine for this car. If you didn't know, we offer an extremely robust Evo 10 engine program, and we have one of the masters in the industry who build them for us and has built them for us for a number of years. If you haven't seen this before or weren't aware, I think you're in for a treat. I think you're really gonna like it. So why don't you have a seat, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So that's the process for machining stage 2 for the most part. And then, like I said, this engine can go 10 over, 20 over, 40 over, 60 over. Like, yeah, it's a nice advantage of having a sleeve block versus a factory sleeve. So we'll get this loaded up in the parts washer and we'll let it run, and we're going to start on that. Same practice that we do with the block, where after I've washed it, I'll let it dry overnight. Because after you resurface something, the metal chips can get stuck in the coolant passages. You want the metal to dry out so that when we go to assemble it, we'll blow it out with air again and try to get as much of the metal shavings out pre-assembly. That way you won't see any metal in your coolant when you go to bolt it on and get the engine running. So for the first step into assembling the cylinder head, we're gonna install the valve seals, and then we'll flip it around and we'll put our valves in, and then install the GSC beehive springs, and then we'll get our cam buckets installed, and then we'll move all this over to our assembly table where we start our long block process. So factory crankshafts are factory balanced. They have an acceptable range from Mitsubishi. We take it a step further and we try to get them under a gram is desirable for race applications. Same thing with like the rods and everything. They're all weight matched. We're going to be using Wiseco pistons with Manley rods and King bearings for this crankshaft. Really common MAP Stage 2 parts. When you order the Stage 2 from MAPerformance, you get this crank with the Turbo Tough rods, the HD Wiseco pistons, and then we'll run the coated bearings, and then all of it will be weight matched to under a gram of all of the components themselves. This crank, being an inline, will be balanced on its own versus like a V8, which you would have to simulate the weight of the rods and the pistons being on the crank. But since this is a inline and you have 2 up and 2 down, we can balance this statically by itself. So we'll get this thing measured up, and then I'll spec out what bearings I want to start with, and then we'll go either first try on the bearings for clearances, or we'll play around with what selection I want to put in for the final install. So I'm getting the block set up to check main bearing clearance. So we're going to install the main studs and the main bearings and the caps. We'll torque it all on, and then we're going to use our micrometers and our bore gauges to get actual clearance measurements and figure out if it's where we want it to be. So the game with building an engine for a race application is that kind of sweet harmony where it's not too tight and it's not too loose, so that you get good oil pressure throughout the engine and not just at the crankshaft. So now that we have our main caps torqued on, we're going to set up our micrometer to what we got off of our crank measurements and set our bore gauge and check our clearance. So with the measurements that I'm getting, we're ending up with 2 thou 4/10, 2 thou 4/10, 2 thou 5, 2 thou 5, 2 thou 5, 2 thou 5, and just a hair loose at the very edge with 2 thou 7/10. Totally fine for my professional recommendations. So we'll run these standard bearings, and there's no need to mix match. Now, if we're getting larger than 2.6, 2.7, you know, into the 2.8s, 2.9s, 3s, I would recommend replacing the main cap side bearing with a slightly thicker bearing. But since we don't have to mix and match, we're just going to rock the standards, and then we'll go do the same practice with checking clearances for the connecting rods. Okay, so now that we have the crank installed into the block, we're going to move on to the rotating assembly. We'll start with checking the small end of the connecting rod compared to what I measure the wrist pin, and then after that we'll check the sizing on the piston pin bore itself. Once those are done, we'll move over to the big side. We'll check our starting housing bore, and then we'll take the rods apart, clean them, install the bearings. We'll get them re-torqued up just like this, and we'll measure the bearing clearance. And if the bearing clearance works in my favor, we'll take them apart, we'll get the pistons hung on the rods, and then we can start filing the rings. It's really important on pistons that are directional, where the valve reliefs are different. You want to make sure that you're putting it in the right way. So for this engine, the exhaust is in the rear for an Evo 10. So when you install it, you want to make sure that the smaller valve reliefs are pointing this way. So, and then to install, we'll move the crank down. This will come in. Like so. And then from here, this is a common Evo thing that's still running. Piston cooling features with the oil jets that spray up. The jet is bottoming out, or the piston's bottoming out on the jet right now. So if you've ever built an Evo engine and you run Wiseco pistons, you know what I'm talking about, where you have to modify where the oil jet is positioned. What we do for that is we bend the squirter over so that it's coming on the inside of the piston, but without making contact with the connecting rod. So I lock onto it, and then I bend it up and over. And I'll do both 1 and 4 at the same time. And you might have to do it multiple times.